Greetings, everybody. It's Lotus of Doom with a video commentary, I guess you'd call this, related to the new achievement system of shared achievements coming to Elder Scrolls Online with the Rising Tide DLC. This was something we discussed a decent amount on the podcast Tales of Tamriel, which I am one of the hosts of. However, for many of you, I don't really expect everyone to just want to sift through a several hour podcast, and it's been spanned over two different podcasts. I'll link them in the description if you're interested in like the full discussion outside of just myself. But as people have kind of talked to me in the community or have had their own ideas, I just kind of wanted to attempt to make a video discussing one of the aspects of the game that I really enjoy, which is collecting achievements. For the most part, I really think that this system is a good start. However, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have some drawbacks, and honestly, it could benefit from a little tweaking before it goes live. We're definitely getting close to the launch of the DLC, but PTS is still live, so hopefully this means that there's still time to change all of this before everything does go live. Just to start, I will explain, like, for anybody who doesn't know, the way the current achievement system in Elder Scrolls Online works is your achievement journal is character specific, and that's pretty much what it does. You unlock it on a character, and your journal is individualized to your character. By doing so, you unlock titles and stuff like that, which are also character specific. Skins, mounts, things like that of that nature, those are account based. So it's a little different. Some stuff already does seem to be account based, and there's store items where if you do an achievement like collecting all sky shards, once it unlocks and registers for a character that you've done it once, you're allowed to purchase it on a different character. With the upcoming shared achievement system, it will change from being a character profile or journal to sharing across all of your characters that you log into. So if you have achievements on one character and you log into a different character, it will then pop them on the other character. Titles will become shared across all of your characters. It becomes like mounts or skins. So everything is becoming more of a profile and less of a character-driven thing. Overall, I actually really, really like this because I have never really understood why it's been separated into these like mini categories of like every character has their own thing. And it's a part of the community that until this was mentioned, I didn't really see the other side of this. So a lot of players that have any interest in this stuff, specifically at endgame with a lot of things like, you do a Griffin Heart or a God Slayer, so some of these much more difficult challenges, by doing them, you get to show the title on your character, so you know which characters do what. That will essentially mean that now all of that is shared across your profile. It kind of, for that group of people, will de-incentivize them from doing it again, because now you're just doing it for the sake of doing it, as opposed to doing it to unlock it on other characters. Like, look how many Master Anglers I have, or Griffin Hearts, or whatever. Now, essentially, you won't be able to tell, so to speak. And since the titles will be shared, it's not like you only equip a title that a specific character earned. Something I never really thought of because I personally don't run multiple characters. The thing is, I understand that, even though it wasn't something that it originally had come to my attention, but before hearing it from the community, though I really don't think ZeniMax needs to do this in order to make the new system work. My hope that they kind of iron this out a little bit is to have your character journal stay instead. I really don't feel that you need to get rid of it because it's already in the game. However, have all of that character data, so to speak, feed into a master profile, your account profile. That way you can have like one progress bar, so to speak, for your character. The game is, or, the system itself is obviously calculating this on the back end to an extent. And I'm sure maybe the system that is currently proposed might be easier coding wise or something. I'm not a programmer. I don't know the logistics of any of that stuff. But if you had a master file where out of the current, I believe it's 48,805 achievements, not exactly sure off the top of my head how many are total in the game, have that as your master profile for your account. And then, as long as one of your characters unlocks the achievement, it can go into that file, but you don't need to make them shared across all the characters. That way, you get the old system to remain for people who prefer that, and then they can add into a new system where people actually have an idea of what they've done overall. The shared achievement, or the shared titles, is another thing that people are a little concerned about, and I understand that if that's a thing you like, but from the other side of it, I understand like just kind of wanting the title that you've earned and you can use it on whatever character you want to use it on. I've heard ideas, and it was discussed again on Tales of Tamriel, that maybe we could do, I believe it's been referred to from people I've talked to as like a gilded system or something. But mainly, I like the idea of what if, and it'll give another maybe small incentive for repeating stuff on different characters. Yes, your achievements can be shared for RP purposes, whatever. That's great for all those that could use it. But if you want to have some way to flex that I earned it on this character or all of these characters or whatever, other than just your achievement journal that only you would theoretically be able to see, it would be neat if the title was able to be shaded a different color, I don't know, in a different font, whatever the case, however they want to come up with it, put some type of banner around it, whatever, which would just be kind of neat to show maybe that you have that done on that character, so to speak. It won't take away the incentive of earning titles multiple times. You still have the benefit of the individual character's journal doing that, and maybe that's how it's unlocked instead, since it would still be tracking these things independently. That way everybody can get access to titles, but if you want fancy titles, you've got to do it on that character. All in all, I just kind of wanted to express my thoughts in a hopefully more concise fashion where, although I like this system because shared achievements are a thing that I think is long overdue, and I just kind of always thought it was the case, as I view it as the person has done this, not the character has done this. But if you want to micromanage as well, you don't need to have one system in spite of the other system. They can coexist, and as far as I can tell, unless there's some weird coding thing I'm unaware of. But I think there's a way to appease both groups for this without actually really pissing off either of them, hopefully. You can't make everybody happy all the time, but I don't understand why there isn't the potential to have a middle ground where we are adding this system of a shared achievement master profile thing, as well as the old system still remains. It seems unnecessary to do, and potentially could cut off the end game for some people, whatever that may be, in terms of collection and stuff like that. I like the idea that people will maybe have more incentive to do things they wouldn't normally, because they'll have the ability to add to their total score if that's something they actually care about. But I don't like the idea of it coming at the cost of something else that other people in the community might like, especially when it doesn't need to. So that's just kind of my, shorthand version of what we discussed on the podcast, and people have asked about how, what everybody kind of thinks on this, because it's something that seemed really good out the gate, but has definitely been a little more divisive as it sat in with people and had some repercussions that at first, at least, I didn't consider. The only other thing, just to end, that I wanted to kind of shout out from, I've seen it from a couple different sources and I just love it, so I just added into the end of this video. It would be really cool if we had more of an incentive. I mean, everybody wants incentives in game. It's been a long running situation, but one really neat incentive that I think could come with achievements and encouraging people to do various things outside their normal gameplay or comfort zone would be to have almost like some type of checkpoint, because you would have these cumulative files of this is your total, which has always been the big thing. What is the, it doesn't matter how many points you have. They don't actually mean anything other than the points themselves. It would be cool if there was a way to, I don't know, at 30,000 points, you unlock a mount. At 40,000 points, you get a skin. Whatever the incentive would be, it would be kind of cool if they were to add something in that regard, whatever they could come up with for that matter, just to give people a reason to try to get some of these things, unless you're an achievement hunter like myself and, a lot of others in the community. But outside just the, I got a speedrun no death hard mode or something like that, or I was crowned emperor, all of those are great, but it doesn't encourage people necessarily to go outside their usual gameplay. It would just be kind of cool because there's so many different avenues to get achievements if there was a little like in-game incentive for it as well. So yeah, I hope everybody enjoys this. This is not my usual format of recording, so hopefully this doesn't sound too rambly, but yeah, that's just it. And I will, like I said, post the links to the podcast where this was discussed at length and with other people. So, shout out to everybody who has made me aware of these things or shared their ideas that have helped me formulate my own ideas and stuff like that. But if you have, opinions on this, feel free to let me know. You can shoot it in the comments or hit me up on Twitter or something like that. That's fine. Because I've been very curious to hear and learn the different takes everybody has on this. But have a great one, and I will see you all in game. Bye, everybody.